I don't know.
That was the best intro I've seen to this show this week. Chad, you did it again.
You know, it's what I live for. So don't cancel the show.
That's what you did. Okay, this show isn't about our friend Chad, the man. What's the plan? The man who invented the COVID vaccine, Chad Petri dish. And today we have a special guest who we will introduce in just a moment. But before, I want to talk to you guys. So we keep evolving the format here, and as you know, this is the show to end all shows. We are trying to break the mold of the two talking heads. So even though I can hear myself speaking, which is driving me completely insane, Chad and I are going to. He doesn't hear me, or he doesn't hear himself. We'll make this work. So, guys, we have some prizes for you today. We have some fun stuff going on, and we want you to participate. So, if you have questions or comments, put them in there in the comments. And when we get to the point we ask our guests to play along, you can play along with us. We'll get there in just a minute.
If I look intrigued, everyone, it's because this is the first I've heard about it too. So
it's the first time you've heard about it. Well, you see, I can improvise too. So let's introduce our guest, Chad. How about you do this?
Well, he looks different than I remember, but it's similar. But it's my good friend Demian Ross, the founder of Rootless Living, and get this, it's a magazine. It's a digital magazine, but it's also a print magazine. So I'm sure we'll get into that, and there'll be some shenanigans and fun and other things because, well, it's him. So let's just bring him in.
What up? That's literally not a photo of me. Like, I don't understand. I'm confused by that.
So we had Rob on a few weeks ago, and his doppelganger was LL Cool J, and we put that in with his. And so there's a lot of similarities there. I don't
know. A lot of people think that's George Clooney, believe it or not. And that's not even George Clooney.
Who is it?
I know. It's some Silver Fox model guy that's like in his 50s. And I did one of those face, like, who you look like, and it said Michael Jordan. I was like, oh, spot on.
What?
Yeah.
Was it the beard?
Still makes me laugh. No, this is pre-beard.
It's pre-beard. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's nuts. So, was it cold where you are? Because you got on that the beanie.
Yeah, I turned the heater on. The hair's going a little crazy. It's not as crazy as the intro kind of thing, so I just thought I'd keep it kind of nice and neat. But it's gonna be a brisk 36 tonight. I hate to say cold because I never know what someone else's definition of cold is. If you're from Arizona and it's 82 out, you think it's freezing. If you're from some snow part of, I don't know, Michigan, and I say it's 45 out, you're like, that's nothing, that's summer. So I don't know. It's cold for me, a Southern California kid, to be in 36 weather tonight.
It's like social media has made it to where you have to be careful about how you feel about the temperature where you are currently, because there may be an argument.
Oh man, like people used to ask me, what's the one state you didn't like? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yours.
Headaches. Yeah, like I'll never talk about it because people just get too offended. Like they somehow work for the state and they don't. It's weird.
Well, Daniel, should we just go ahead and move into our first little bit here?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's get into the section called
Know
You.
You. Getting to know all
with our wonderful
about
soundtrack.
You.
We bought the rights for this. No plagiarizing, please. We will report you to YouTube. So, Demian, this is the section which we call Getting to Know You, in which we get to know you. First things first, you are the founder of Rootless magazine. which is interesting because you're also rootless yourself. Where are you calling in from today?
I'm currently in Elkhart, Indiana, which, fun fact, is the RV capital of the world. Something like 80% of all US-based manufactured RVs are made right here in this little Amish county of Indiana.
And how did you get there? Why did you choose that location?
One, the magazine, Rootless Living, a big part of it is full-time RVers. So I was here to get some huge solar install on my rig, plus obviously doing a lot of business. We have a new issue that's about to come out, and it'll be fun to kind of like just be in town and hand deliver face-to-face, mask to mask. And so I'm here until like literally the 2nd of November, and then I'm bouncing and heading west and southwest, trying to get to some warmer weather, but get over closer to the West Coast for the holidays.
I'm sorry. Did you say the RVs were made in Amish country?
Yeah, originally it was pretty much the Amish that were knocking it out. Like even they still have funny hours here, like where everyone works like 2 a.m. to like 10 a.m. So then that way, the Amish could go home and still work on their farm. But there's still quite a bit of Amish that work within this industry. They're just really, I guess, incredible wood cabinet manufacturers. Actually, while I was here, I went to an Amish auction. Fun fact, you couldn't actually buy an Amish. I was a little pissed off about that. They were just, auctioning off their crap. They could have been a little more like understanding with their message. I was really kind of bummed out because I was really
kind of false advertising.
This would be cool. There's probably like a good graphic designer Amish, right? That there's good social media Amish that I could hire.
That's what I'm saying.
And then no, they don't actually use computers or cell phones. Never mind. I was way off too. Okay.
Oh wow, I would have liked to have just been there when you made the first bid and they had to tell you that you're gonna need to leave.
Yeah, without a doubt. It was. What was really weird is being around, I don't know, 2,000 people in and around COVID. One, no one's wearing a mask. It was like a political rally, and two was no one was on a phone. Like legitimately, everyone is just focused on what's going on. It was really weird. I didn't even want to take my phone out. I was like, I get I'm not dressed like you, and I'm not Amish, but I don't want to be that guy that's got his phone out.
So everybody, I think most people, at least they know you, obviously, that they know that you kind of travel a lot, and that's your thing. But how did that all start? What made you decide to just go be wherever it is you wanted to be and take your home with you?
Yeah, so really it started with around 2016. I started having some real financial issues. Even early 2016, I went homeless for about 90 days. And just because, it was, I think my nut at the time was like $12,000 a month just to live like the average life in, Southern California, Los Angeles.
Wow.
And I decided really quickly after watching Fixer Upper that I couldn't believe you could buy a house for the price of a shed in Texas. And I was like, okay, I'm going. I've got $50. I can buy 100 acres and a house. And I didn't know where in Texas. I just knew I wanted to go to Texas. That was just my feeling. As soon as my youngest son graduates high school, I bounce. And he literally graduated like late May and I left June 1. Huh. And that turned into maybe Texas isn't the place. Before Texas, why don't we do some traveling? And I was trying to do traveling for work, which was really stupid in an RV. And I learned that really quickly. But I just started really loving the life of actually not having a house and being tied down to a piece of property. And, if I had a house, could I be here in Elkhart for a month, doing face-to-face and building relationships? Probably not. And so right now it's still just the plan of staying in the RV and traveling. A homestead is definitely on the back burner, but, I'm a long ways away from ever giving up the wheels or being able to get wheels up in like an hour if I needed to.
Same wheels since day one?
Yeah, I've had the same 42-foot fifth wheel, bought a brand new fifth wheel, bought a used truck, had no RV experience, went and picked it up, loaded it, hit the road. I've lived in 44 states. I've logged probably close to 80,000 miles. I've kind of been to coast and coast, back and back. I've been to a couple places, a few times because I really have enjoyed it and liked it. I've been very surprised how much I hate big cities now, even though the only cities I've ever lived in have had subways or some sort of monorail system. So I have a funny little thing I talk about that I want to stay like 500 miles away from an IKEA. If you have an IKEA, I don't want to live, or an international airport. I don't want to be anywhere close to you. You know what I mean? Like, I have no reason to have to get up and like leave the country that fast. I can take a connecting flight first. And I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed these small towns. I have. It's actually changed me and my whole perspective on this country and humanity, being in these small little communities. And I probably have a little fun stories about that'll hopefully change other people's humanity thoughts, and just people are amazing when you get away from really crowded areas.
Wow.
Cool. I think, but I don't buy it. I think you're running away from the FBI, or you're smuggling drugs across borders, or something.
Yeah, and I like to come on live shows.
There's got to be a logical explanation here.
Yeah, no, bring it. I've got so many drugs in my RV. Come get it. Bring your dog. Come sniff this and see what happens. But no, I mean, to your point, people do think I'm nuts. I was talking to the lady that's living, a few spots over here at the campground. She's a traveling nurse. Her whole family thinks she's nuts too, for not having a bricks and sticks. It's how you keep a crab in a bucket. You just put another crab, and every time one tries to leave, the other one pulls it back in. And we do that as humans too. Anytime someone's doing something different where they're really stoked and having a great time, we have to kind of tear it down a little. And that's really interesting in this lifestyle. I've noticed it a lot. And I know you were kidding, but it is one of those things where, man, people are just like, you don't have a house? You're homeless? I mean, I get that I get homeless, but come on now.
I do give off a vibe.
I do.
So it's interesting. You have a print magazine, and you don't have a mailing address. Why did you get into print in the first place?
Yeah, no, great question. So I still have a mailing address. I didn't move to a third world country. I travel a lot. I have to tell. So I'm now a South Dakota resident. I have basically a mail service in South Dakota. All my mail goes there. I can say, open it, let me scan it, let me read it, shred it, keep it. And then I can say, hey, put it all in a box and send it to me. And this is where I'll be. And it comes to me in 2 days. So that's how I get mail. Believe it or not, I still get my print magazines. I like reading print. I still get my Ink, my Fast Company, my Hustler, whatever. We don't need to get into all the publications, but I really wanted. Let me back up. When I decided to go full time,
Damian's an influencer for some of these products.
Yeah, without a doubt. I was actually in Hustler magazine 4 times as a kid. True story. So when I decided to go full time, I thought I invented it. I wasn't being influenced by any YouTube channel or Instagram or van life. When I found out I didn't invent it, that people do live full time in an RV and travel the country, I immediately said, okay, well, there's so many people are doing it. Let me grab a magazine and read about it. There was no magazine. That was in, late 16. And so 17, 18, 19, still no magazine. At the time in 19, I wasn't really gainfully employed and thought, I've done magazines in the past. Let me do it. Now, fun fact, I only wanted to do digital. This is really a digital nomad publication. And to your kind of, funny thing about addresses, do I want to do print? I was not going to do print. I was going to take all of 2020 and just do digital. So many people came out and said, is it going to be in print also? And I thought, okay, enough people have said this. Let's do a Kickstarter. And if people really want it in print, I figured out what it would cost to do it for a year. I doubled that and said, okay, if people want to do it, great. And we had a successful Kickstarter, brought a lot of attention. I've learned a lot too, because, I don't carry on that much about the magazine, but I think there's just some good marketing business things to think kind of outside of your own box. Is when someone's in my magazine, whether a contributor or we've done a story on them or even an advertiser, and I send them the magazine, they will take a photo with the magazine and post it on social. I have very few of my digital subscribers that do that. There's very few people that like have their iPad out and they're like taking a picture of the iPad of the magazine. So it's still tangible and it makes it real for a lot of people that there's still an actual magazine. And I've had people like, oh, like a real magazine. Like, yeah, a real magazine, like not a real magazine. So I didn't want to do print, but it's been a huge part of what we've done, and people just seem to love it and get it. And it's pretty much evergreen. So it's not like I'm breaking news in the publication in any way. So people can get it a month later if they want to.
Wow. What about with the whole COVID thing going on? Has that had any effect on the magazine?
It's had two interesting effects. So one is originally I got really scared because I thought, okay, like everyone, marketing is just going to get pulled back. And I was just really starting to kind of make some real strides with potential advertisers. I mean, again, when you're starting from scratch and I have no audience in and around this lifestyle, it's kind of hard to sell an ad for, I think, let's say issue 1 had like 2,500 subscribers. Even at a $50 cost per thousand, oh, hey, for $125, you could be in an ad, and they have budgets of, 50 million. So there was a little concern once like the magazine was picking up and then COVID hit. What immediately happened was my subscribers just skyrocketed. Like, people are interested. Maybe now they're remote, maybe now they're homeschooling, maybe they're not really stuck in their bricks and sticks and they want to figure out a way. So the subscriber base really grew. Advertising really kind of slowed down and I got scared, but the last, I'd say, month and a half, it's been phenomenal. Like, now people are coming back. But fun fact, July of this year was the all-time greatest sales of RVs in like 40 years. Like, it was the greatest month, not just the greatest July, but the greatest month in 40 years. Like, everyone is running out and buying an RV because they still want to be able to travel and have vacations, and they don't know if airports or hotels will be really available. So it's been a huge boom. So the other thing is that most baby boomers right now that are still working, they have an idea of when they stop working, they want a full-time RV. And that's what most people do. They do it when they're retired. Because maybe their job has gone remote, if they even had even close to a plan to go full-time RVing, now that they're remote, they're speeding up the process. They're just saying, okay, let's sell the house, let's go now, and we'll just work from the road. And so all of that, it's kind of like I'm like in like a bubble before it's happening. You know what I mean? Like, I can feel that momentum. And it's just starting to kick off for sure. Like, people are super interested in it, and we just continue to grow, month after month.
Awesome.
That's great. Obviously, K-shaped economy here, K-shaped recovery. It took me a while to figure out what that means. I'll leave it up to you guys to figure out yourself. How about that?
I'll put it in my notes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you mentioned you're on the road a lot. And so you must have met like really interesting people. What's the craziest person you've met?
Well, for me, I consider myself a California native. I make the joke that I was born in Seattle. I learned to talk in Boston, walk in New York, run in Los Angeles, and I spent most of my life in the LA area. I'm probably the craziest person I ever met. I was just in the backwoods in North Carolina, big beard, all the tats. A guy came up to me and started having a conversation with me, and he was full on Klansman. Was about to have a rally, wanted to know if I wanted to come. And I was like, you're talking to the wrong dude, bro. Like, I just kept thinking of that. What is it? The Bad Boys movie where they're, they come out of the sheet and they've got their guns and they're like bad boys. And I'm like, that's who you're inviting to your rally. So that was probably the craziest of just like weird. But because of the magazine and people that I've gotten to know and interview, probably my favorite is a couple that travel in a schoolie that have 11 pets, and they could only talk about 9 of the pets on the show because 2 of the pets are technically legal to own. And you know what I mean? And then, I was full on like, okay, they're in California. It's probably ferrets. And, it was like, maybe it's alligators, maybe it's lions. Oh my, I just didn't know. And that was really kind of crazy to meet that. But the majority of the people I meet are just people that have really kind of taken control of their life and living a life that is, everyone I meet isn't really stressed the way everyone else is stressed. So that's the craziest thing across the board.
What is the most stressful thing about doing the RV?
Say again, sorry.
What is the most stressful thing, though, about the RV life?
I would say it's probably more weather related. You know what I mean? Like, that's really the most stressful thing, in the sense that if there was a real hurricane or hail, now that I've got solar on top, or that's probably the most stressful thing. In the beginning, it was definitely pulling the rig, having to go get gas with the rig still attached, backing into these like small little tight spots when you just don't know anything. I mean, fun fact, there's no test, or I had to take this massive test to ride a motorcycle. And really, on a motorcycle, I'm only going to kill myself. I got this thing and it's 40 feet long, and I could wipe out an entire city with it if I drove it incorrectly. And they're just like, yeah, come get it. Don't worry about it. It's totally fine. That truck looks like it could handle it.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, so driving is still a little stressful because people are morons. They don't realize that 20,000 pounds can't stop when you just want to, sneak in front of me real quick to be able to make your right hand turn. But really now that I've been doing it so long, it's just weather, keeping an eye on the weather, and not being in a place where I got to run the furnace all the time or run the AC all the time. The idea is to chase 70 degrees, which is really doable in this lifestyle.
Well, Daniel, I think Daniel has a little quiz he wanted to run through you.
Yeah. So this segment we call Getting to Know You, but we wanted to know how well do you know your RV?
Okay.
So we have a few RV jargon kind of terms that RV people use, and I know you've already used one today. So we wanted to see how well you know your slang. And for all of you viewers out there, I know you can look up the answer. So instead of seeing if you know the real answer, if you type in a fake answer that we like, you could win the StreamYard mug. So type in any fake answer you like, make it sound convincing, and you could win. Okay, especially if it sounds better than the real thing. Okay, so Demian, do you know what a Batwing is?
What is Batwing?
Yeah.
No, that's not something anyone says. But go ahead. What is a Batwing?
Yeah. Well, Daniel was looking up like 1970s jargon or something.
There we go. Yeah, it sounds like 1970s because Batwing is the antennas that you put on the roof of an RV, apparently.
Oh, for television. Fun fact.
Yeah.
I don't have those. I took those down before I even took off because who's watching live TV in this lifestyle? Who's watching PBS, with bunny ears? That's funny that's what that's called. No clue. Don't own them. Never will, never have.
Okay, how about boondocking?
Oh, yeah. Boondocking is basically camping where there's no facilities and you don't have to pay. Now, this is one that gets misused because one of my favorite dry camping spots is Lone Rock, Utah. And the reason it's dry camping and not boondocking, it's $14 a night. You're still not hooked up to water, power, or sewer. But because it's $14 a night, and this is where someone told me, oh, Damian, you got a boondock, at Lone Rock. And I thought, sweet, let's go. And I went there thinking I'm going to be there for 2 weeks. I'll be able to save a little money on campgrounds, and 2 weeks at, $14 and you get no facilities is still almost $200. And I was like, use the right words, people. So boondocking's out in the boonies, no facilities, no water, no cost, no electricity, no sewer.
Okay, how about a toad?
Say again, you were echoing.
A toad.
A toad is a vehicle that gets towed behind, like a Class A, Class B. Yeah, so you have a tow vehicle, which me is my truck, and a toad is something you would pull behind a Class A, again, a Class A, Class B, or Class C. And if you don't know what those are, and I don't know if that's going to be a question, that's where those have engines and you're driving the actual vehicle. I have a fifth wheel, which I pull with my truck.
So fifth wheel is another one. Let's not get into it.
No, get into it. You can ask me. People need to know.
Jennifer's cracking me up here with her comment. How about a reefer?
Reefer?
Yeah.
I think reefer is, I see it sometimes when I'm buying diesel. They'll refer to it as diesel fuel, but I don't think that's a real phrase that anyone says in this lifestyle. What's the answer to that one?
Well, according to the internet, it's a term used for RV's LP gas electric refrigerator.
Yeah, I've never I have propane and electric refrigerator, so I don't know. I don't know what someone's smoking when they came up with that BS. Probably reefer.
Reefer. That's what I was thinking. Okay, I love this one, and I wonder if you've ever done this. A Wally dock.
So it's called lot docking, really. And again, I mean, you can do it at Walmart's, you can do it at Crate and Barrel, whatever those are called. So it's basically, people refer to this as boondocking too, but it's like, come on, there's no Walmart in the boonies. It's basically camping overnight at a Walmart.
There's only dollar stores in the boonies.
Yeah, well, 97.5 cent stores. Yeah, so that's so really fun fact. There's some cool terms. Boondocking, which I've explained. Lot docking, if you do spend the night at a place that allows it, like a Walmart or a Crate and Barrel. I think some of the Bass Pro Shops have it available. There are places that have it available. Rest stops, you could do some lot docking. There's mooch docking. If I brought my RV to Chad's house and backed into that ridiculously long driveway of his, that would be called mooch docking because I'm with a friend. And then there's dry camping, and then there's obviously paid campgrounds and resorts. So those are all the different little terms. No one says Wally docking though. It's called lot docking.
No, nobody says that. Okay, at least not the cool RVers.
Yeah,
there we go.
Not the homeless.
Those are the other RVers.
Oh my gosh.
They say it.
Oh,
I think that I think Demian deserves a 10 out of 10 on this.
Oh yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Let me explain what fifth wheel is too, because I think it's important. So when you're pulling a vehicle, you have two. You have what's called a bumper pull, which you're basically hooking your trailer to the bumper. And then a fifth wheel is where the weight of it and the connection is actually in the bed of the truck, whether through a fifth wheel hitch or a gooseneck hitch. And in a fifth wheel, especially something as tall as mine, it's really stable, makes it easy driving. That's the difference between a fifth wheel and a bumper pull.
Jennifer asked if there's such a thing as booze docking.
Yeah, I think, I've been sober 25 years. I used to have this thing when, whatever happened when I was blacked out was none of my damn business. So there probably is booze docking. I've had many of the ladies get drunk and spend the night. Is that what she means? Because I've had that happen. Yeah.
And that sounds like a good time to move on to this.
Indeed. So this is our segment called Chillin' with the Guru, where we ask you about things you actually know about.
I thought we just did that. That's all I got, bro.
So this might be things that you know about in your professional capacity.
Which also is kind of what we just talked about. But I had mentioned to Daniel that your background and a lot of things that you've done in the past were sales related.
Yeah. No, let's do it.
I love how Chad kind of flexes here, like he was teaching me, like, I don't know, Jack.
Yes, because being known as the Damian Ross expert is one of my goals in life.
I was really concerned when it was like things we were going to talk about prison. So I'm excited that it's sales. That's why I'm excited. So let's go ahead and go.
Oh, we weren't going to go there, but since you brought it up.
I have. Literally.
You so set him up. I was just waiting. I'm like, I'm just going to wait for it.
This is something nobody knows this about me, I think. But this is something the two of us share in common. I've been in jail more times than you have.
Well, you probably work there.
No.
You're a lawyer or something. There's no way. Or you went to go visit someone.
No. I served time in a military jail.
See, but you were working, right?
3 times.
Like as a guest or as a host?
As a guest.
Guest? Is that what you call us, an inmate?
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, I was a big troublemaker during my military service.
There you go.
And then I was promoted after that. Go figure.
Sounds like an interesting military.
Sounds like
was that the Salvation Army? Because that's not how it works. Fun fact, if we ever go to war with Canada, we only have to send the Salvation Army to get them down. So that's it. We're good.
I was saving that nugget for someday, but since we both have it in common, I figured I'd put it in here.
I was actually kidding about the prison stuff. You just put yourself out there, bro. So I don't want to make a comment.
It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. Demian and I do this all the time. I plant the seeds of the whole prison thing, and then he brings it up, and we get people to confess things that they normally wouldn't. Works every time.
Yeah. Have you been in Hustler magazine 4 times before you were 18? Probably not. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Uncle Larry.
Hustler magazine. Were you a contributing editor?
I was actually a model, believe it or not. Yeah.
Pat Peterson. So.
Are you gonna ask him your questions or not?
I think,
all flustered. He's so off track now.
Nothing can top that. I don't know if I want to go to this chilling with the guru after that, but I guess we can ask you a couple of questions here. So, you started your magazine, which was essentially a startup. You had nothing to show, and you came up to advertisers and sponsors and said, please give me money, sponsor me, and you had nothing to show in return. How do you sell something that doesn't exist?
Yeah, so, I mean, I've done 2 magazines in the past, but they were both analog print-only publications, and it really did take a lot of fundraising to get it going. I legitimately started Rootless Living with $12 because that's what it cost to buy the domain. Wow. And and then because of Kickstarter, let me back up. I wasn't really worried about selling ads in 2020. I wanted to kind of take the Facebook approach of keeping it cool and not really worrying about ads. And I didn't want to reach out to people when I had 2,000 subscribers or 5 or 10,000. I wanted to wait until there was a bigger number. But I actually started getting approached and working with partnerships and things of that nature. And it was really slow and hard. Like I would say, if anyone's thinking about starting a magazine, get yourself $100,000 and then start the magazine. Don't start it with $12. But I also knew I was pitching and selling something that wasn't available and that people wanted. And, I mean, this is one of 8 publications that I'm going to start in the next maybe 5 years. And this is my most niche publication. It's probably the hardest to sell. It's probably the hardest to get subscribers. And I just feel if I can make it successful, then the ones that are way more broad in and around, whether it's RVing or camping or vacations or homestead or whatever it is, those would be so much easier to do because there's such a bigger audience. But for me, I love the bootstrap. I love, I think we've become a culture of, we want venture capitalists, we want funding, and then we go. And I think it just makes you kind of soft and weak. If you have to really get out there and sign a contract and then use that money to move forward and really keep your costs low, you can do it. Now, honestly, in a digital only magazine, there are no costs. I mean, very few costs. But with print, it's, and especially the kind of quality print that we're doing, it's very expensive.
It's a good looking magazine.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. And, and it's a publication that one of my biggest things that I love is I'll talk to people and they'll ask me about my team. And I just smirk because this is something me and my roommate started. We're like co-founders and business partners in this. And I handle the sales and a lot of the design. She handles the content. We do then at the end, like go over kind of just some design elements and, change things up, but I handle all the production side of stuff. And it's been a great, yin and yang for sure, but it's just crazy that it's 2 people because there are magazines out there that are probably half the size of our publication that have a staff of 50. I mean, 50 people, I swear to you, like it's bananas.
Wow. That's impressive. We were in it, of course we met through the social media, marketing industry, and we've got a lot of friends in that and do similar, like one man kind of go. And a big piece of that is sales. To grow your business, you've got to bring business in. As you've seen people in our little circles, what's like one of the bigger weaknesses you've seen as far as closing sales and being able to sell in period?
What was really weird is I had a sales job from like 16 to 18 and all my ideas were shot down and it was still very kind of corporate. You were really like just on top of the person, like just getting in their face if they showed any interest. And I've been able to do all my ideas that I wanted to do for that company that they didn't let me do, and now I've been able to do. And I don't take an approach of like really hounding people. I think one is I get a good vibe. And most of the times when I have a meeting with someone, I'll know if there's a sale there or not. I very rarely get surprised. And I usually let people just really take their time. And I think people are so starving and desperate, and I get it, you know, times are tough, but people feed off of that and they don't like that. And they feel like they're being talked into something. I won't talk anyone into anything. Like I literally just, my battle is just to get people on the phone because they're sold so much BS that they don't realize that, hey, here's a real opportunity to grow your business. And so, but if I can get someone on the phone, my close rate's like 90%. I was just going through it. Like it's bananas. If I can get on a phone or face-to-face with someone or get the magazine in their hand, it's a done deal. And I think a lot of people, they just get too desperate about it and too unrealistic about it. And you know, here's the other thing that's really funny is recently I started mailing the magazine, which is really expensive. You know, I mean, I'm not, you know, printing 10,000 of these. The majority of my subscribers are digital. So I'm mailing these to people and, you know, people will respond and want to talk. And they're like, well, you know, we're really more interested in the digital stuff. You know, we were interested in your podcast, which has, you know, a 20th of the listenership as my subscribers, or we're looking more for the influencer stuff. Yeah, it's great for you. But you responded to an analog magazine that I put in an envelope and I addressed it to the marketing department. I didn't even know who the effing contact was. Right. And you've contacted me. So digital's really where you want to go, because this relationship, and I'm harsh like that. Like I'm not even trying to kick it around where it's like,
if I had messaged you on LinkedIn, would you have answered me?
Exactly. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's the stuff that's like, I love it. Like, I'm like, hey, when people are like, oh, print is so, you know, 1990, that's cool. You keep doing that 2020 stuff that everyone else is doing. And I'm going to sneak over here where things aren't doing. And trust me, guys, look, I get that with Rootless Living, I'm leaving so much money on the table because if I did a, let's just say RV owner magazine, I could go into the campground and hand a magazine to every single person in here and probably half would want to subscribe. But remember, Rootless is really about people that are working while traveling.
Right.
But if I did something very vague and ambiguous, you know, in and around a niche, like just RV owners, bro, I'd be making so much money. And so that's where I think people get like, just, they get all confused where they think they've got to do the next cool techie thing. And I don't know, some of the old school stuff, asking someone the coffee, sending them a letter, a postcard, a note. I get off the phone with someone, I write a handwritten note and I mail it to them.
Taylor Stevenson, I think you know Taylor. He said that you shouldn't apologize for being harsh like that. It clearly worked. I'm just laughing because it's Taylor. I'm like, he's always harsh.
Bro, I'll tell you one of the funniest things I did was there's two magazines that are RV related magazines. One is called Motorhome Life, and then one's called, I think, Trailer Life or something. I don't know. And they're owned by Camping World. So they're literally like catalogs for Camping World, and people think it's a magazine. And I was talking to someone and they're like, well, we advertise in, you know, Trailer Life. And I'm like, oh yeah, Camping World. You advertise in Camping World magazine. And they're like, what are you talking about? Well, you know, it's owned by Camping World. I'm like, yeah, but you know, they're not biased. They literally did a section of like the best generators, and they left off the Harbor Freight generator because they don't sell it, which is probably the most popular generator in the RV kind of boondocking community. And we all sat around and said, these guys are frauds. Look at them. They're like legitimately not going to review something they don't sell. And they're not frauds. That's a harsh word. You know, Marcus Lemonis, I like you. You're a cool dude. But it's that kind of stuff that's still old school in this industry, and it's a Trojan horse. And I'm just that guy. I'll say it, you know, and I don't mean to talk bad, but I'm just talking truth, you know, and that's not a real publication. If you're going to do stuff like that, you're only going to talk about the people that are paying you. You're basically an influencer with print.
Man,
you know, it's the best way. That's a guaranteed way to get 100% open ratio on your letter, which is send it in a UPS box.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. Or even like anything that almost looks like you have to like sign for it.
Yeah.
I try to avoid anything that I have to possibly sign for because I figured they found
I'm an old school kind of marketer. I used to send it where it looks like a birthday card and it's handwritten. Everyone opens those. You know what I mean? Like I had people like, you got me, bro. Like if you would have sent it in a
Got me.
class 9 envelope with a little window and my name spelled wrong, I never would have opened it. But it was handwritten. I'm like, yeah, I can only send out 100, but I get
Yeah.
a 20x result.
Well, man,
I think there's a service that'll have
Go ahead.
handwritten email letters sent for you. They have some people that will just write them out and ship them out. And
Yeah. Still not the same, though.
something
Still not the same as
like that.
the personal I did it. But
You get one of my beard hairs in your card, you know it's real. You know there's some magic to that.
We still have some. We still find them at the house.
I bet, without a doubt. Those are back hairs, bro, to be honest.
Then there's things that we didn't need to know. Hey, guys, let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
If you need to hit the restroom or grab a drink, this is your chance.
I think I will grab a drink. I'll be right back.
Cool. You got 29 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a long intermission.
It's what are you gonna grab, Chad?
I've got my coffee, so I'm still good. Judy Fox.
Coffee at this hour?
Oh, please. I drink coffee at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's because you go to sleep at 4 a.m.
Hey, this is a non-judging, whatever.
This is the safe zone. No, it's not. It's the intermission.
Is he back?
I'm back. I'm here.
All right.
That was fast.
All right. Now this
Oh,
typically is everyone's favorite part of the show, both watching it and Judy Fox is here probably specifically because we did this with her and she loves to see it happen to everybody else. But we just kind of dig into your social media, your online presence, and just try to find some things that we just like a little explanation or find out the story behind.
Love it. Let's do it.
All right.
I love Chad's face at this moment. Like he's setting it up. He's like sitting like very casually. Oh, just things we found. When I see Chad's face like that, I know it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah. But doesn't Chad look like the world's ugliest guitar pick right now?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So here's our first one.
I think you took that. We were in Lima, Ohio. I think you and me were going to become partners on some game, and you asked me if I was excited or something. I can't remember.
Wow, that's it. That's impressive that you remember that much detail. The fact that I was like, okay, he remembers that I took it, but that you remember we were going to be partners on, it was that meme game or whatever they were playing.
Yeah. Again, I said I was sober, so I can remember stuff. It's how it works.
Oh, well, let's this one people ought to enjoy.
Hey everyone, it's Demian Ross with Custom Comfort Mattress. Today I'm going to show you how to assemble a Keyhole adjustable bed frame for a queen size bed. So one, make sure that you have all the pieces necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this out first here. The plastic end caps I just put on are going to protect your skin if you ever kick into it.
Watch the whole thing?
Then we have four wheels.
Edit video. Oh, okay. That video,
looking for the furthest
it's not on
hole,
YouTube anymore, but it had like 1 million
locking
views,
that into
dude.
place.
It was crazy.
Looking for the furthest
YouTube.
hole.
It says it's
I hope
unlisted.
this helps
But
you
Is it
out.
still there?
If you have any other
Okay,
questions,
cool.
you can feel free to email us. I thank you for
my
watching.
favorite part was you putting the wheel on and you're like, ugh.
Oh man, I was so out of breath. You know, fun fact. So I had just gotten divorced, and that was like the place I was moving into, and it was empty, and we needed like a studio to shoot it. I'm like, hey, we could just do it in my house. You know, there's no furniture there yet. So I took my whole team. You know, and again, this is a work that they didn't want to do these kind of videos. They didn't want to explain stuff that my sales guys were answering over the phone, how to put a bed together over the phone. And I was like, you guys, can't we just do a video and we can send people the link and they can watch it? And it was, I just can't argue with stupid anymore. I'm over
It's funny that you mentioned the out of breath thing, because that was one of the things, and people can go back and watch it later, but that was one of the things that stood out to me, because as it progresses, you hear.
I think I was like lapelled mic, and I mean, it wasn't I was out of shape. It's just at 6'6", bending down to work an inch off the ground is just never fun. Like, that's not the type of work we should be doing.
What's going on here? I really like this photo.
Yeah, I do too. That's actually, gosh, man, I want to say I remember like doing something really stupid for my previous job. I hate to say that, but I was like really up at night, like, you know, when they're just like, hey, we need these numbers, we need to know what you've been doing. And And it's like, I just remember being like, I can't believe I'm 40 something years old and I got to be doing this crap, when it's like, it was just weird. I remember that. I was deep in thought. Like, I literally was like, how did I get myself in this situation where I'm working for this type of people? Like, that's legitimately, that's what's going on in that photo.
No, that's a great photo. I'd say it like as the cover of your book whenever you write one.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Dark thoughts. D's thoughts.
All right. What's going on here?
Yeah, so that's Lima, I want to say 18. I don't know if the first one was 17 or what. This one's probably 18 too. That's Jennifer Weather. And we were riding on a bus and all the windows are down. And literally that was happening for like 5 minutes and she was not doing anything. She just was like letting it happen. So I had to like take some photos of me just being next to her with her hair in my mouth. And
did she know it was happening?
Oh yeah. I mean, she didn't know it was happening, but once she saw that it was happening, then she just did it more because Jennifer's awesome. And then she would have to do that.
Hilarious. Okay, this, I was intrigued because this has to be huge.
Oh, that's a baby photo. That's cute. You found that. That is in South Carolina, I believe. It was really big. But, you know, fun fact, those things are everywhere. And those are really smart. If you own a restaurant or anything and you can put a big chair that people can get on and take photos, man, people do it all day long. I've probably seen 100, and this is probably one of 2 that I've actually stopped and taken a photo with. Only because it's even extra funny when you're like 6'7" and 300 pounds to then look that tiny.
Yeah, because I've seen them, and you know I've taken pictures on them. I know how tall you are, and I thought this one seems like it must have been a little bigger than the others.
That's what she said.
Okay, this one cracked me up.
Oh yeah, my boy Mark Schaefer. Look at this knife. Can you believe that's what I have in my back pocket at any time, brother? Bring it. I could carry that on an airplane with this beard, and they still wouldn't try to stop me.
Yeah. Mark Schaefer's new book, Known, and then I'll let you know what I think about it. A weird camera angle, isn't it? It's like I'm really crouched down. It's Known! Mark Schaefer! Known!
It's my first book review. Probably the first book I ever read. I actually really enjoyed his book, and it's sad that so many people are just stealing his content. But he has some amazing content about, you know, doing content for the right reasons, and I loved it. It was a great book.
No, he's a good guy. Hopefully, one of these days he'll hit rock bottom and decide to do our show.
Not after me. Like, that's it for you. You should have led with Demian hasn't been on the show yet. It's still a good show. Yeah, man, look at that. That's yeah, I've never been on Tinder, but if I would, that's the one. Have you ever seen a dad bod like that? That is the man boobs right there. That's like Aquaman, like retired right there. It's terrible. Like I'm okay with my B cup. Is that a C cup? What kind of cup is that? I don't know. It's pretty
Aquaman
good.
Aquaman doing commercials for diabetes.
It's just, whoo, man, that's not a dad bod. That's a father figure. That thing is terrible.
Father figure. Wow. Oh my gosh. Tell me about this one. I was curious.
Yeah, this is I think a Biola University event, if I remember correctly. Not 100%.
It said 40 under 40.
Yeah, I think I was 42 when I did that. So I could have been. I don't know what was going on there. There's probably some good-looking women there, you know, that I know are for sure going to be under 40. So that's probably why I was there.
So you weren't being honored. You were just attending?
I don't believe I was being honored for being one of the 40 under 40 when I'm actually over 40 in that photo. So I would say no. I mean, but
wouldn't put me.
I can't remember if I was one of the judges or something to do with the Chamber of Commerce. I used to be a chamber director. I don't know.
One of the judges was there was like a swimsuit competition and.
There was. That is just what a beard looks like when you brush it up, which I could still do with this one, and you just give it a good kind of full. I wasn't really big into Jesus, what's the name of the show that everyone loves? Game of Thrones, but I felt like that really looked like a good Game of Thrones character right there. So that's what happened when you brush it out, when you just want to be able to hide stuff inside of it.
Gotcha.
I used to be a JCPenney catalog model, and this was, I don't know what we're selling. Man, I recently retired those grandpa sweaters. I feel like there's so many people wearing them now. Yeah, like I went through and I just was like, that's it. I'm done wearing them. There's so many people rocking them now. It's really trendy where I'm like, I'm out. I don't like doing stuff that everyone's doing. But that grandpa sweater is legit.
Yeah, I always liked that sweater. That's why I grabbed the photo, but I didn't realize that you stopped.
Back when I used to eat meat too. Look at that. That's amazing.
We already talked about that one. That's not you, so
yeah,
it's
a model that a lot of people thought was me.
Let's move this over a little bit.
This was, I had a goal. Gosh, this must have been like 2012, I think. I don't know, but you know what? This is like 2012. So I took a job that you weren't allowed to have facial hair. So if you remember the video, I'm completely clean shaven. And then here they were starting to they wouldn't allow beards, but they allowed goatees to come back. And at the end, they finally allowed beards. But in this goal, I wanted to read more books than how tall I was. And I was getting pretty close to the goal. So I took a photo of it. In 2012, man, I pounded through books.
Wow. Yeah, I saw the caption on it, and I thought that was pretty impressive. We usually just pull stuff, make you look a little awkward, but we're giving you some moments to, be impressive. Because I was. Then there's this.
Yeah, wow, there's so much to talk about there. I think that's me and my youngest daughter. I think that's one of her wigs, and we were just playing like fun dress up or something. I was a pretty active dad, and if my kids wanted to have tea parties and do the girly stuff, I was there. So that's got to be even maybe 2006, 2008, because I only have the one prison tattoo. So yeah, on that arm.
Wow.
This is a fun fact. I used to be a lifeguard. I want to say that I'm probably only about 12 years old in this photo, even though I look like I'm probably 20. And we were taking a train ride down to Mexico with my parents. And man, I drank or ate something I shouldn't have. And I was so sick. And I was like, I remember being like 12 or 13 and thinking, if I'm gonna be this sick, I might as well drink alcohol. And I think I started drinking alcohol later that night just to, if I'm gonna be sick, might as well be drunk.
Wow. You definitely didn't have a lot of meat on your bones back then, huh?
Oh man, I was so active and skinny and just running around. I was twiggy. I mean, it's funny how I see both my boys are the same kind of build. They're both very twiggy, and now they're all just, we plump up once we hit that like 24. We start drinking alcohol and eat steak. Forget about it. So this I totally remember. This is me shaving my beard like a piece at a time, like doing it because I was literally going to work the next day. I literally had to sell my soul and go to work for someone that had Disneyland rules. And there's even a photo after this where I make that mustache just a little more Charlie Chaplin. Well, it's Charlie Chaplin with the hat on. Without it, it's pretty terrible. And I kept like shaving it and coming out and talking to my daughters, and they were just like, "Oh my gosh, Dad, no!" And so
I thought maybe you were auditioning for Narcos or something. I didn't.
That's just so bad. It's so amazing though. I love that. It looks like my dad. It's really weird. Like I just see my dad. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, Regina, I miss you. I love you. She was 18. I'm probably 16 in that photo. And I swear to you, she is probably 4'8". And I'm like 6'7". That's her senior, I want to say winter or maybe even prom. And we couldn't take a photo standing next to each other, or it looked like she, her face was like right at my crotch. And so we legitimately had to sit down to take the photo, and because I was 3 feet taller than her easily.
Now, this is your trailer?
Yeah, that's it. That's actually pre-trailer. That's a Vegas trip that we drove out to go just take some photos. And I think we'd been talking about going full-time in an RV. And so I was like, I was using it as to kind of how to announce it to my family and friends that, hey guys, I sold everything. I'm going to be in a trailer.
That's awesome. All right, just a couple more here.
That's a Christmas party. I think Biola University. My ex-wife used to work at Biola, or she still works at Biola, and I went there and I was photobombing everyone's photos. They just were so uptight and no one was having fun. I mean, you can't drink, and not that I would drink. So I was like, I'm going to take these props and I'm going to have a blast and have some fun with them. And yeah, it was a good time.
Well, this last one, I just, I love. And so here we go.
lunch! Woo! Yeah! Lunch with my girls! Woo!
So I had text my daughters like, hey, do you guys want to have lunch? Oh no, they text me, hey dad, do you want to have lunch? And I was like, yeah, sure. And they responded where they were like all butthurt, where I wasn't like really excited. So then I sent them that video like afterwards, like, I'm sorry, I didn't do it well enough. And then it was so funny. I had to kind of post it on video, but that's just my relationship with my girls.
I loved it. I watched it numerous times. It just cracked me up. So
yeah, it was
the kind of thing I would do.
I think we need to turn that into a GIF.
Yeah, no doubt. It's
online.
It's pretty. I'm not a big fan of the not being able to have a beard. I love having a beard. It's the man's push-up bra. Let's be honest. And I when I see myself without a beard, I just don't like it. I mean, I wish it was a little bit more trimmed right now, kind of a thing for sure. But you know, with COVID, it's hard to do that. But I hate that I had to take that job and shave my beard to be able to support my family. It's so stupid.
The shaving the beard, not supporting your family.
No, both are really stupid. Like people should just give me money because I have really pretty kids. Like, why do I have to work?
Oh wow! Oops. Let's we didn't get our little intro. Hold on. That's my fault.
You're so fine.
Okay, we got two final segments here, which are short ones.
Yeah.
And this one is called the 30-second marketer, in which we give you 30 seconds to come up with a marketing plan for something that we will just spring at you, right? Just right there.
Okay.
Get that pun, Chad? We'll spring at you.
Yes, that is correct.
I'm sprung.
So you've got 30 seconds to put up a marketing plan for Keyhole adjustable bed frames. Are you ready?
Oh man. Well, that's kind of wait, hold on. I did a whole plan for this thing, and so it's gonna be easy. I wish it was something I didn't know anything about.
We just thought it'd be fun to make you go down.
We just wanted a rolling gag.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back to the job that like fired me with 48-hour notice and basically made me go homeless. Let's go back there. That'll be fun.
That's what we're about. We're about bringing up, memories. This is a show about reminiscing. Okay, we can give you something else. How about this? How about beard oil for women?
Okay, so are the women buying it for their own beards, or are the women buying it for the beards that their men have?
Let's say their own.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, okay. I don't know a lot of women with beards, so I don't know how that would work. But I will say that...
Hey, look, we gave you the easy one, so...
Yeah, I think it's actually a brilliant marketing strategy in the sense to go after the woman. Because really, most guys that have beards, you know what our secret is to have a beard? We're single. And most married men are allowed to have beards because they're pretty scruffy, they're like rough. So if I was to come up with a beard oil, man, I would go after the wives like 1,000%, because beard oil really does actually help. Like really, like mine is super soft. Like Chad, come on, bro.
Oh,
like admit
yeah,
it.
I mean, those nights on the couch.
Oh, without a doubt. There's probably
some of the best nights of sleep I got.
In the comments that can talk about. Yeah, no, it's just amazing. And I think that's actually an approach that I go after. And it takes me back. You guys have brought back a good marketing thing that I had with someone once, where I was talking to a hairstylist and I said that they should get a husband's phone number when they sign up. And it's like it almost looked like emergency contact. But what she did was, after the wife got her hair cut, she called the husband to tell them, when your wife comes home, she has a new hairstyle. Make sure to notice it. Brilliant marketing. Thank you very much. Let's close the doors. No one's doing that. And yeah, but seriously, beard oil? I mean, I know you're being funny and I like it, but man, I would go after women hey, this is what you need to do, because your man, I mean, look, there's like 2 or 3 chins under here, folks. There really is. I'm hiding them well. And but some beard oil, legit. And I would probably put it on TikTok and then just have some guy ride, drinking the beard on a skateboard going down the hill to, some Queen or something. Let's change it up a little. And then you'll go viral, and then boom, there it is.
Well, Daniel, normally Normally we score them based on the marketing plan that they came up with based on the topic we were giving them, but I feel like we should just give Demian a score based on his ability to completely sidestep everything we threw at him.
Wait, are we talking about my ex-marriages now? No, I thought that was the countdown. I thought that was going to start. Is 1 the best? That sucks. I see.
It's on a 100-point scale.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense.
Oh wow.
The road to 1,000. You're a 10.
There you go. I love it.
Let's slide into the last bit here.
Here we go.
All right. So this is a little deal we put together because we just want to give you a chance for, since you were here and took time out of whatever it was you were going to be doing to be here with us. For you to just kind of plug yourself, the magazine, the road to 1,000, whatever it is you want. It's a 60-second elevator pitch. So we're going to open up the elevator doors. They'll close and it'll start to climb to the 60th floor. It's literally a 60-second timer, but it's your time. So let's get you inside, and it'll close up, and you're good to go.
Wait till the door closes, or can I?
Go ahead.
I'm claustrophobic. Hey, so you can find the magazine at rootlessliving.com. It's a free digital subscription. There's no obligation to give a first name and an email. I won't spam you. I'm not that guy. You'll just get the magazine 6 times a year. I'll never ask you to pay for it because it'd be grandfathered in, which is amazing. And if you want to receive it in hand printed, you can purchase that as well too. Demian Ross, which you've seen on this show 100 times, is spelled kind of awkward, but you can find me at almost every social media kind of channel. And you just have to look for Demian Ross in Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you need. That's where I'm at. We can hang out. I've got the series on YouTube called The Road to 1,000, but it's going to be dead in about 40 days. I'm almost done. And I locked my roommate out, and she's trying to get in. So I legitimately locked the double lock for some reason. All right, let me let her in. Hold on, I'll come right back.
And he's gone.
It's like magic.
Like magic. Well,
We haven't had a guest yet that we haven't been able to make leave.
That is true. Every single one of our guests has gotten up and left.
Hey, fun fact about RVs: they have like a double lock, and you really almost can't unlock it from the outside. I don't know why I locked it. I never lock it, but of course I locked it because I'm going to be on a show. It's awesome.
Man. Well, we appreciate you hanging out with us.
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was a really good time. And I appreciate being on here. That was it's a different show. I'm glad I didn't really know going into it what to expect. That actually makes it a lot better.
And now Chad leaves. That's it.
Is everyone leaving now? Is that how this show ends? Is just people just walk away in the middle of it?
Yeah, maybe I'll leave too and just leave you to it.
Yeah. Did Chad drop his manhood? What happened?
So I currently can't hear you guys.
His fifth wheeler.
The stupid thing, if the other one gets too far away, it disconnects. So yeah.
Bummer.
Daniel, I'll let you guys chat and just let me know when to go to the credits.
Okay. Demian, thank you so much for your time here. We appreciate it. And that's it. We're off the air. That's awesome. I wanted to hear about your shared experiences with me because we both had the same. We're both inmates.
Yeah, but I probably, at 6'7" and 300 pounds, I probably had a little different role than you did.
Yeah, there was a wall between our jail and the military jail and the civilian jail.
I can hear you now.
And they put us guards in to watch the wall and make sure nobody escapes. And so I would talk to the guys over at the civilian jail on the other side, and I realized I had it easy.
You really do. I mean,
sorry about that, guys. This stupid thing fell out of my ear.
What was that was in your ear?
It was just a wireless earbud.
Oh, yeah.
And
those Raycons or whatever. That's why you need to buy AirPods, bro. Step up, pay the real money.
Oh, these are the what's the brand? 65T is the model number. They're good, but it's just it happened to follow my ear. But when it does, if it's too far away, it disconnects the other one. So that's why I was like,
I don't know what you're doing. All of a sudden, you're laying on the ground. It's like a cocktail out or something. I'm like, you don't need that for the show.
Wait, are we still on
now?
Oh, that is my fault. Hold on. I didn't stop the stream. We're still live.
We're still live.
Oh my gosh, this is terrible.
Well, yeah, this is professional stuff here.
Your Viagra code? What's your... I know you have an affiliate link for that. I'd appreciate it.
Affiliate link for Viagra.
And that's going to be like the last thing I think people are going to hear. It's like just click the end.
That's perfect.
End. We do that every week. We purposely keep it going.
Yeah, we just didn't prep you for it. So it was kind of...
It's really good.
Yeah, we usually tell the guests because there was one time we didn't.
Oh, that's
funny the things people say when they think the camera's off.
Oh man, there was I remember his name is Dave Moore. Yeah, his name is Dave Moore, and he had something called More on Life, and I thought it was Moron Life, and it's just More on Life. But he was a really great speaker, and he like went off stage with a hot mic, and his wife was like, "How'd it go?" And he's like, I thought it went really well. And she's like, "Did it go as well as last night?" And they started talking and being all cute and like, talking about their sex life. I had no idea that he was still hot mic'd in front of the entire auditorium and everyone's listening to this conversation. That's More on Life.
Yeah. More on Life. That's an amazing title.
You guys can still hear me, right? All the echoes should be gone now.
No,
now you're the one for echoes.
Now you're like 3 echoes.